Coming to the stage next, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker, Lee Allen Boggess. Have you ever wondered where the Mandela Effect started or came from? Or why we notice it now in the present of our existence? Let alone, where's the Mandela Effect heading in the future? Some things maybe we'll never know, but since modern technology has advanced, we can go and see things now that we could not before. Change right before our eyes is almost like seeing a glimpse of the future. We are going to the past, the present, and the future of the wonderful phenomenon we call the Mandela Effect. Lee Boggess is a YouTube content maker, editor, and publisher, a study of psychedelics, and a modern-day urban shaman, waking up the masses to a reality that can be manipulated at any time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome Lee Allen Boggess.
Thank you, Derek.
Bill it, Rose.
Right, Bill it. Well, first off, he did use my government name. Oh, why he would do something like that, but you know. But he's right. Man, welcome everybody. Thank you for just joining us. Personally, I'm in awe. I'm kind of one of those spectators up here speaking to as well. Thank you to Symphony and the gang and everybody coming here to help me. I'll bring him here. It's just, as you know, this is my first event. As you did hear, I am a psychedelic shaman. My name is Lee. I've been studying psychedelics for about 8 years now. And it kind of led me down the road to the Mandela Effect. Now, the crazy thing about psychedelics or waking up itself, it's two different worlds. You know, you kind of see the side of your neurological, like we just had Liz and them just speak about, but you also get the other sense of seeing reality the way it's surely somewhat meant to be or constructed. Kind of like we always build things in our heads just to make things make sense, preemptive programming, growing up as kids, how that works. And it kind of got me led into the Mandela Effect. Now, the Mandela Effect, which got me, it's probably a big one, was Star Wars. Luke, I am your father. Now, we all know that famous line. Who would never, ever forget that line? But when you look at it, when I first saw it, just hearing, no, I'm your father. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Who's not his father? Who's his father? What's the name? Who's the father really is? Went back 1,000 times, and like that, it made me jump down rabbit holes like no other. From Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolate to was, destroys me. First 5 minutes of the whole movie. And we forget the line of the first 3 lines of the movie, and you're telling me we got false reality, false memory? Get out of here. That one from Berenstain destroys us. We all read this book in school. At home. Most of you probably read it to your children. I got it read to me by my mom. God bless her soul. She's here, by the way. And the other one also, too, was for me, I'm a big Michael fan. I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. And just seeing him change personally from Smooth Criminal, Hit by, Struck by, now it's Hit by. Terrible. It's just blows my mind to Billie Jean, Mama always told me. Is terrible, awesome, but don't even want to go on. It just starts, and that's what blew my mind really about it all, got me hooked. Now, my conversation is going to be talking about the past, the present, and the future of the Mandela Effect. And we all know how the Mandela Effect came along. You know, this Warren Bloom in 2009 came up with the word, 2013 came up with the name, the phrase Mandela Effect because of Mandela passing away for me in the late 80s. I was probably 9, 10 years old. He passed away, probably 8, 9 years old. He passed away. I remember that. I remember it on television. Broad and day, like we all remember JFK getting assassinated. You know, well, I don't remember, but we all seen it. We all remember the 4-seater, not the 6-seater we're seeing. You know, we all remember Fruit Loops. We all remember these certain things that just get thrown to the past. You know, and kind of in my research, I've kind of seen a little bit starting from the Great Depression in the early 20s, where kind of everything was starting to get erased. Everything was getting revamped. Everything, history was getting restarted. Could that be the part where it began, where the computer system or anything kind of ancient technology could have existed in that time? You know, for me, through psychedelics, I know ancient medicines, ancient technology. And I always think that there always was ancient technology back in the 20s, those great skyscraper buildings that the stonework carvings you would always see. You don't see that anymore. You don't see that except on old churches. Whatever happened to that kind of technology that built that kind of stuff back in the old days, back in the 1800s, 1900s, where we see, that's why was history erased then? But then I also think about kind of what Philip K. Dick said. He always a great guy, a writer, bookmaster, Blade Runner. Gosh, Total Recall, the list goes on, and he always thought that we lived in some kind of generated, computer-aided world, the Matrix, to put it even bluntly, especially in this time of day, we know what the Matrix is now. And it's kind of what we lived in. He always believed it was some kind of simulated, computer-generated system that we lived in. And the only way we could tell the complete difference is when some kind of glitch, something happens in this system, in this Matrix, that is noticeable to see, to tell us and show us the truth of this reality, the truth that this is a simulation. Kind of where the Mandela Effect falls apart, The proof is in the pudding right now. Don't you think, I think Philip K. Dick, when he did that conference, kind of like what we're doing right now, he was supposed to be talking about his book, but he went down and took to a whole nother story. He was right. This is a system. This is a matrix. Through my 8 years of shamanry, I've learned that we are able to manipulate, like Lisa says, to control our environment. Our thoughts, our process, our feelings are the way to do it. But in the past, did they know this? Did they have that kind of sense, that kind of knowledge to do that? And only people who want to question themselves, Philip K. Dick questioned. Shoot, we probably, JFK, he probably questioned. That's why he probably, they unalived him. Why am I using YouTube terms? But in the it's serious, but in the past, what's not to say that they weren't experiencing these same kind of effects? When you look back in the World War I, World War II, you ever heard of a striped ship, a camouflaged ship in the water, looking like a zebra, just sitting there in the water being camouflaged? Nah, never in my entire life. And you can imagine what a zebra looks like. You already know this black and white stripes. Imagine that on a big old battleship in the middle of the ocean. You would remember that if you saw that. You would remember that if you saw it in school in pictures, pictures in school, in your school books, your history books, government history, even in college, you would probably know about it if you studied war. But in our reality, my reality, I never learned about that. Never existed. Time itself, what is it? The past is just the past, which kind of brings you to almost, I would say the present, but the future. So I don't want to talk about the present. I think we need to jump to the future. The future is an amazing thing. What can we do with the future? Where are we going to go with this future? The Mandela Effect has compensated millions of lives, even if they want to believe it or not. Everybody has been affected by the Mandela Effect, by some kind of conscious shift. And that's amazing. It's funny because that's why we're all here. We all had that one single Mandela Effect that kicked us down that rabbit hole, and we've been chasing Alice and them for ever since. I can't stop chasing her, and I chase it in two different ways, and that's a different thing. In the future, technology is probably going to be something that we can't even imagine. In my sense, in the psychedelic world, as a shaman, our technology, our greatest computer system that we have, is right here in our brains. Our brains is the best CPU we could ever imagine there is. That's why we have these memories. That's why we can always download, upload, recycle things anytime we want to. That's why we feel these shifts, these changes, the moods, the atmosphere, the energy. It's because of this. The quantum field, even like Liz says, the energy that's coming through each and every day, up and down through the ground, through the crown. It's how we work. This is the most powerful generated computer-aided system in the world, probably better than that quantum computer that runs everything. But at the end of the day, that's the one that's running 24/7, 75 days a year, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how many days are left in this year anymore. But it is really wild to think about now that your computer, your brain is that computer, is that quantum processor, is that chip. What can they do with that? We've already seen a manipulation in this world from media, conspiracy theories, fake news, even just pre-programming in our own use. We've all been programmed. We have all been programmed from television from the start. from the kids or even our parents, bringing in, teaching us values that maybe weren't coincided with our values in the future. But we get into the future with that brain, with our brain being that computer system, how are they going to be able to really manipulate it? And I think really it is a part of, they know the system's falling apart. The manipulation has been going on for so long. Let's say they couldn't have reset it in the past, Y2K. 2012 when the Mayans went down, or the calendar went through. COVID. I think COVID was probably the latest one we just went through. I know it's not the future, it's the past a little bit, but we're still going through that part of this present. It still ain't ended yet. But I think COVID was a great thing to get everybody inside. Let's reboot this whole matrix outside where everybody's inside and change reality. And now reality shifted. You cannot lie about that. Reality has shifted. Reality shifted recently. He's going to go there. I mean, shoot, future was just a few days ago, technically, for the election. We all felt it. We are all still feeling it. In the future, are we going to be able to feel those things still? Will we be able to still see those kinds? But in the future, we had that little one running around right now. Will our children, their children, still realize what this Mandela effect is, this phenomenon? Will we find this answer? Do we really want the answer? That's the question. Ain't no fun once we get answers to these things. That just kind of, why study more, right? Why figure anything else out? Well, no, we still want answers. I think the answers are going to be nice. I think we'll get a more sense of what's happening, more sense of why it's happening. But do you really want to know that too? Yeah, you really want to know it? Yeah. Well, we all have our theories about it. We'll get to that though. But you're right. I do too. I would like to see a little bit of answers of what's really going on, why we're changing it, why it's changing. I have my beliefs. We'll get to that momentarily. But then on the other spectrum, what happened if they just go ahead and erase us like Sinbad's movie Shazam? Think about it. Each and every one of us in here, I know, has held that video or that VHS cassette tape in their hand or put it in there and watched that movie. We all know Shazam. I'm not talking about big 7'2" Shaq ducking basketball for being a genie. I'm not talking about. We're talking about Sinbad, tang hair guy. I remember that movie. But are they going to do the same thing with the Mandela effect in the future? Are they going to erase all of us from existence? They can't. They've already tried. It's kind of what my psychedelic shaman is. We are in this essence of time of knowledge and learning. And it's also learning that this reality is really what we truly make it and what we really fool in. Following our lives and following into people we know just keeps the hope alive and keeps all this alive. As Liz was saying earlier, in the future, right now, technically, they're right over there. I've been looking for them over there. They're right there. Hey, what they're saying, how we can think and put feelings behind our emotions and our thoughts and things happen. And, 9 times out of 10, we don't really put a thought or feeling behind our thought. We just think it. I just went off my whole track. But through it, I lost my whole track. Sorry about that. But when we, through, the whole field of electorates, the more and more people that wake up, especially in the future, I think there's going to be so many more awoken live souls floating around, just walking around, smiling, showing their light, that they're going to blow this whole thing apart. Every conspiracy theory, every Mandela effect, every kind of scientific phenomenon, I think will be a constant. I think that's actually what we're doing now. That's exactly what we're doing now. This group of people right here is distorting the field. We're creating a bridge. I'm going over here because we're creating a bridge for other people to jump on. Noah's Ark. Future of Noah's Ark. We talked about this yesterday. I talked about this yesterday. Noah's Ark. Maybe Noah's Ark might have been 2 by 2, but he was leaving the doors open. We're leaving the doors open more than just 2 of each in, so we can bring them all in who wants to come and show. That brings us to the present a little bit. The present reality of it all is amazing. We would not be here today without the past. We always look to the future, but we really have to stay in the present. That's the gift. That's why we call it the present. But present reality, it's not reality, unfortunately. Present reality is one of those things that we kind of, like we said, 98% of we just go through the day running on just self-drive, self-conscious, just doing what we do normally, brushing our teeth, driving, putting our clothes on. Kind of what I'm doing now too. I'm improvising, but this is what I do. Probably about 50% right now, but that's what we do. But the present, when we get all together, we start using 100% of our thought pattern, 100 thoughts, 100% of everything around some, all of it, and think about it. It's amazing. But we go to theories in the present. The present is one of those things where right now, it's all conspiracy theories with the Mandela Effects. Conspiracy theories about quantum jumping. Conspiracy theories about time travels, timelines, multiple realities, the multiverse, if you want to call it. All conspiracies, all thoughts, process, or, speculation. False minds, false memories. It kills me. How can you have a false memory of something just like everybody sat there in front of the television watching Saturday morning cartoons, seeing Looney Tunes? Tunes, like cartoons, not music tunes. If I wanted to watch music tunes, I'd have watched, what is that? Let's Make a Deal or Name That Tune. I'm trying to think. I'm sitting here thinking, but that's the point. We see certain things. They want to say it's false memories. That's part of that conspiracy, part of the theory of the law. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're misconstrued and you sell something else. We perceive something else. But knowing me and us, we all were captivated in this type of advertisement. It still goes on now. It's a lot more worse now. But back then, advertisement was the key. Bright colors. Put it in your face. Everything you need to do. Fruit Loops, Put those colored fruit on it. Makes you want to eat fruit. That's why we got Fruit Loops. It's got fruit in it, right, Mom? Kit Kat, there's certain things, Kit Kat with the hyphens, we remember these certain things. Tony the Tiger. Black nose, not a blue nose. What say? You're welcome. You're welcome. I've never seen a cat with a blue nose. I own a cat. Or an orange cat, to be precise. That nose ain't blue. Well, it ain't black neither. It's purple, but to be fair, it's what it is. We see these Mandela effects, and now in this time, in this present day, these theories, these conspiracy theories, these people. I wanted to call them nut jobs, but then I feel like, well, they're calling us nut jobs, right? But they're not. They're not nut jobs. We're not nut jobs. We're just on a higher elevation. We've elevated ourselves to a 5D. I do believe that. That's exactly what's happening now today, too. We're all coming together into this new vibrational light to bring awareness. We are the ones to show people the way. Push them out the fog. Get them on this path. Kind of show them a little bit. That's the cool thing about this present right now. The other good thing about the present is that we have a little bit of kind of our theories of why this Mandela Effect stuff is happening in this present day. CERN. Hadron Collider, Sweden. They got one over there, I think, Tennessee, Colorado, somewhere too. They turned that one on recently too as well. That's a big thing. They turned it on a long time ago before they even told us what they had. And that's kind of when we started to see it in this generation, this present timeline is when we started to see the changes. They put it in the face, Bond. They had one of the guys there, put it right in our face, Bond. But it makes me think, why would CERN do something like this? Why would the elites want to try to even manipulate time itself? We've been told that story our whole life. Time, future, Back to the Future. Manipulate time, change the future, change the past. Well, they're changing it. I do believe they are part of it. I do believe they do have a lot to do with the Mandela Effect, a lot to do with this multi-reality that we are living in. I call it a multi-reality because it shifts every moment of the day. Every moment, everything we do, everything we interact is going to shift something in this reality to a different one. And I believe timelines are merging and we can see it. But the reason why I do believe it is because, in a sense, through my teachings and my studies, through my psychedelics, I learned that there's a lot of other energies that I had to think of my word I wanted to say about it, but energies that are trying to change their own for whatever they want to do. I've learned that they have to, if they want to change something there, they have to change something here. And that has a lot to do with the Mandela effect. You know, I think Bond was one of those big things that they showed. They were hinting nobody's plain sight, cartoon, movies, video games. They put everything in plain sight. They tell you the truth because they have to. That's their religion. And so it just keeps on going. We see more and more and more of this, you know, more of the timeline shifts. Back to the Future with the Volkswagen, you know, even the modern days now too. I was just watching The Matrix, one of the newer Matrix, the new one they just put out. And there's this part in here, I swear it changed. I wish I could remember. It's funny because I'm saying, but it changed, it screwed something or whatever. It's like a whole nother film. And that's a lot of films now. It's a whole nother different film. Even music now these days. The same song you heard growing up has a different fluid, a different vibration, a different kind of sound, which has to do with this alternate reality. It's trying to wake us all. We're all on a different vibration. The other conspiracy theory, I should say, the military psyops. A lot of people want to say that the military, the government, the elites are the ones pulling the strings, trying to manipulate our realities, trying to see what they can do. Whose reality can we change? Can we change somebody's? Change the masses so we can program them again. Do what they do, you know, got to program the people because we can't have people thinking. That's the worst thing you can do is have people thinking. Have people opening up. And a lot of people do think it's a military. A lot of people people who don't believe think it's a military psyops. Let me put it that way. There's no way in HE double saw hockey sticks that the U.S. government can, and they can erase the video. We don't figure that out, but they can't erase all our minds. There's no way they can mass us this way. You know, I throw that out the water. You know, even the gaslighting from the media with Skechers, with Mr. T. There's always been a T in Skechers. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. We know there's been a T in Skechers every day. You know, I pity the fool. Well, he don't say that no more, does he? He doesn't say pity the fool in Rocky no more. You know, he never said it. He never said it in A-Team. Never said it. Yeah. Yeah, who just said what? Yeah, you know that? He never said I pity the fool in A-Team. Where you heard it from? A-Team. I pity the fool in Rocky 3. Never said it. Only time he said it is every time he'll do some kind of show or kind of personal meetup. That's not right. Where did we get the phrase, I pity the fool? I like saying that. It's kind of nice. I pity the fool for anybody that goes against the Mandela effects. You know, you know, but the pity, I guess, isn't that bad of a pity because I want everybody to wake up. Nobody should be left behind. I think everybody in here has been left behind once or twice. Even myself. Heck, I think I've just been found. Personally, it took me 42 years not enough to realize what I do in life, but to get invited here for my first time is amazing. It's awesome to me. But like I said, we've all had it. We know, I just that one. Yeah, love it. Got me excited on a pity the fool, but I don't. I want everybody to wake up. You know, we all need to get everybody on a train. All right. Even if this train, like I said earlier, ain't got no tracks. Because it don't. Not my train. Oh, I got all the room you want. All the snacks and treats you could ever imagine. Don't ask me where we're going. Because I know as much as you do. I'm going to where we're all going. I'm going to let us minds take us on a ride. Y'all punch the tickets, we ride. You know, that's kind of far from the president is right now. You know, we're on this track. We're on this bus that has a road with all these lights, all these trees, all this stuff. But not that many people to ride with us. And I think that's what we need most of. A lot of people to ride with us. You know, a lot of people ride spiritually. A lot of people ride religiously. This is a religion. This is a spiritual to me. In a sense, you know, I'm not going to put all like that, but, you know, in a sense, this is kind of like our religion, our spirituality. This is what keeps us going, keeps us wanting to awake people keeps us keeping in knowing of knowledge. The key of life is knowledge anyway. It doesn't matter what you have, who you have, what you got, where you came from. You ain't got no knowledge in that CPU that we've been working on our whole life. It's useless. You might as well just go ahead and reset. But that's what we're doing now in the present time, I think, with our new times. We're starting to reset. We're starting to understand that this brain, this consciousness, the subconsciousness that we have is the strongest thing that is. Compared to the computers and technology we have today, and the technology from the past, the technology in the future, VR, AI, VR reality, if you want to put the glasses on, be like Ready Player One, or we can put the other sunglasses on and be like They Live. I think really it's both right now. I think, for me, I got both lenses, I see them both. And it's a great thing. And that's one thing also, with that, we're all here talking about it. I also believe that our conscious collective is our huge key in this whole process, in this present time and day. We're not promised the future. We're not promised tomorrow. Promised today, the present. And if the present wasn't here, where we could all get together and believe in what we have, and believe that we can all come together and just join and share our minds, be one with each other like we're supposed to be, like the one, like the source, the all almighty, whoever you want to call it, the main source. We're all one. We come all the one, the collective comes more as ones. We're waking up the masses. I feel like that's got a lot to do with our Mandela effect, how it's starting to become more and more in line. It took one person to wake up that thing back in the early 2000s. It goes further than that, but it took one person to understand that something in this reality has changed. The reality that Nelson Mandela died in 13, not in 98, 89, 88, give or take. It varies, Took one person to get that little rabbit hole going, to spark that fuse, to get everybody going and moving. And now it's grown bigger. We see more and more, when more times you come up to people, the more and more people you see, the more and more it grows, more people waking up. Oh man, did you see this Mandela effect today? Or did you see this? The other day I was, who's live? I think I was on Cynthia's live. I think I was on your live the other day. I came in and said hi. And I think they were talking about JFK's car, not the assassin car, but the car's turning white. All these, and I've said the same thing. I'm sitting in, I said, hi, I can't wait to see everybody in chat. I'm looking forward to this. And then they saw the white car, and I was like, what? That's a stupid color to have in the daytime in Texas. Stupid to have rolling around, during a parade and a white car, It's like, that just makes no sense. That's the reality that we actually live. But that's part of the consciousness, this whole collective consciousness that we are having right now. Even myself has been studying this for 8 years, diving down rabbit holes, not just Mandela effects, but psychedelics, mushrooms, DMT, LSD. I mean, I've been doing it. I'm almost a mastery. But diving down these holes, seeing these things, and just knowing that every time something like this happens, a mass of groups where we all see something's changing. I wouldn't be surprised something changes today. Just because there's one of those things that just happens. We're speaking it. We're bringing it to life. We brought the Mandela effect to life. We brought it awake. It's now probably one of the easiest and biggest conspiracy theories, technically, out there. It might not seem the biggest because a lot of people deny it, but not a lot of people can deny it. They just ignore it. That stupid blinders. I'm just going to be an NPC. I'm going to go this way today. I'm going to do my job. Do what we can do. But I do believe our collective is that. It's crazy to even think and imagine that our whole lives we've been lied to about this great brain of energy, great source of people and camaraderie and minds itself, and how powerful we can be together. And it brings us to this whole light. Brings us to this whole light of everything. Where are we going to go from this? Are we going to teach our kids this? I know for myself, I have a 14-year-old daughter. I'm famous to her. I'm famous in her school. Her, Daddy, they love you. I'm famous. She has the gifts too. We got that little, that little one over there. She's already part of it. That's awesome. But the more and more we keep awakening, not just ourselves, but the younger generation, we will see a change. It's going to be better. 5D's here. I don't care what anybody can tell you. Oh, we might be in these 3D vessels of a avatar shell that we were given to us, which is, we chose them. Sorry. We chose this. We did. I also try to catch it now. We chose this life, but it's amazing. And I think with that said, at the end of the day, that makes us the most powerful people on earth. I hate to say it, it makes us kind of angels, gods. I mean, we all are gods in a sense. We all come from the essence, chakras and roots. And the more and more we learn, the more and more we release ourselves. We be ourselves. We remove the mask, the stigma of society that decided to shut us down and make us feel like we're Krusty the Clown, Bozo the Clown, Homie D Clown. It makes you, you're not. We're not. We will never be crazy. They will never be crazy neither. They'll see it eventually. I think that was, and there's also one thing also for us, and is open it up, even through my psychedelic shamanery, learning through psychedelics, maybe losing my mind, coming back and forth, speaking to whoever, With this said, one thing I've learned through this whole process of whenever you wake up, regardless if it's conspiracy theories, regardless if it's, UFOs, chemtrails, Mandela effects, shots, in the sickness, anything, the government, anything you can think about. At the end of the day, once you wake up, you can't go back to that old reality. There's no going back. That door has been shut, closed. You can't go back. You can't take those glasses off. You can't put glasses on nobody else. It's the rule. Can't push anybody to wake up. You can tell them, but you cannot make anybody wear those special glasses. And all you got special glasses. That's why you're here. But you can't go back. You can't go back to that old reality. Would you want to? No? No? I won't want to neither. A boring reality back then. I say that because when I shifted, when I changed my mind, when I opened him up and I started awakening, my reality shift, it changed. I went through a little bit of tormental. I did lose my mother 2 years ago in this whole process of me learning everything. She's here today. This whole conference has been her, from her military background to sharing my mom's name to that's everybody. I'm telling you, it's the camaraderie, the love has all been there. And even with that, I don't want to wake up. I can't see that. I will never see that. And I love it. I will never, ever, ever want to go back to where we go, where we came from. I want to stay right here. I don't go somewhere else, go up anymore, but we're all shifting. This is the shift. This is the big awakening. Revelations isn't about people dying. I hate to put the Bible into it, but as me, it's not about people dying. It's not about people getting destroyed, Sonogrants destroying the world. It's not about that. It's the consciousness waking up to a higher self, purging the old, leaving the old behind, going to the new, going into the heavens, the kingdoms of yourself and your own self. We live in heaven. We just don't see it. We've been blinded. And that's exactly what it's about. Thank you. We have been. We've been blinded. And that's the cool thing. And to recap it all, everything else, no matter where we come from, past, present, future, no matter what we look at, we're in a day today where we can observe, we can just admire the change, admire the aspiration of just people, their minds. We can speak, the technology is out there. Who would ever thought we could be able to just talk through cameras and cell phones and emails? Who would have thought that we can just get on a screen like myself from YouTube, get on a screen and just talk to people? I'm talking to a screen, but I'm talking to the masses, in a sense. And who could ever thought about that? Showing pictures, old memories, old stuff that you have in your, in your house, old books from being a kid, that still have the old mirror on the wall. This is an amazing time. Technology is not here to hurt us. It's here to bring us. This is all part of it. This is all part of the plan, another extension of ourselves. And I think that's why we ourselves see this a lot better and understand it a lot easier than some normal Joe that you would go tell on the street, gas station guy. You would say, hey, you seen this? You know this? That sticks the difference. We have that. We're meant to less, and all of it said, at the end of the day, enjoy the present, because nothing is guaranteed, and just enjoy the Mandela and we'll go crazy, and it's pleasure of mine. It's just a pleasure of mine to be up here and to be able to speak my mind, not look so crazy as a psychedelic shaman. I like it. A lot of people have took that, and it's nice and neat. So I appreciate you and y'all and everybody else. This is the pleasure. Gosh, it's nice. Thank you. I guess we're going to open it up to the floor if we have any questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Allen Vice.
My government name. I was up there that long.
I thought you were going to break into interpretive dance there for a second.
I could have.
You almost did, it looked like.
I could have.
Great talk, my friend. Wonderful talk. Anybody has any questions, come on up and we will collect your coupon.
That little one right there.
Go ahead and hand it to my little assistant there. She'll get you all taken care of. And do please make sure to speak into the mic.
Okay. First of all, I really, really admire your energy.
Thank you.
Fantastic. My question is, you had mentioned about the conspiracy theories and the elites. Now, is it under your impression that possibly the elites are losing control because we are waking up?
Oh, definitely. By far. The more and more we keep waking up, even now you see in this present day, the more everybody keeps waking up, the more the elites and their plan is falling apart. The veil's being lifted, and it's time. It's time. I think it started to happen when they started to mock us in the media. Yeah. And especially the Mandela Effects. They started to mock us in the media. That's when they knew. Or when they like I said, I do believe it. I said, they're not going to help. It's not going to help them. It's already lost. You're welcome very much.
The biggest mistake they made was giving Americans too much free time and an internet.
But could you imagine doing this with AOL?
Welcome. You have mail. Goodbye.
That was a great talk. I've got a question for you about if you've seen any visions. I know you're a visionary, clearly. And you're talking about the train with no track. I love it. I've had an amazing, meaningful dream where I saw it was like a ride, like an amusement park ride. Some of us were getting on one train and we could stop anywhere we wanted for as long as we wanted. It was like it was like a fantasy, like it was real, but not real. And we knew it was not real. Then the other ride was just the usual crazy ups and downs roller coaster. Have you had visions about that train track, about that train?
Yes, actually. I call it the log ride, actually. Yes, I have. I get roller coasters a lot, but lately it's been the log ride with water. It's kind of swimming in, but getting in a log and just seeing where it's going, how it bobs in certain ways, and hitting certain walls or where you're going, and you get that little dip and going down, and you get covered. You know you're about to get soaked, but it goes over you. You don't get a drop of you. But then it goes on again. It goes into a whole nother one. But yeah, it's my visions. It goes on. It's different weird ones, but putting them together sometimes is the best key of it. But
I think it helps to talk about it because, like you said, we need more people on that crazy train. So
I agree. But I vision.
And if we can describe, it's like it's safe, it's fun.
It's fun. And the thing is, for me, it wasn't, the feeling wasn't scary. It was enjoy the ride.
Yes.
And I think that's what we all should take from life. Enjoy the ride. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be all fun and games. But you got to enjoy it. You have to enjoy it. Oh, thank you.
Anyone else have a question for Lee? Well,
I'll take.
Come on up. We'll have to make sure you get a sheet. I don't know why you didn't end up with one of those.
In case y'all didn't know, I'm at all the dips. This is all to me.
Okay, so each of us has our journey. So my question is for you. Was there a pivotal moment, a Mandela effect, or something that shifted you into doing what you do, becoming a shaman, using psychedelics? Like, what was that pivotal moment?
Oh, it's crazy. Now, I went through this whole process of what my speaking actually was going to tell you, but what got me into it, unfortunately, about some 13 years ago, I was addicted to opiates, pain pills. Unfortunately, got really down and lost a lot of weight. I was like 100 pounds. Good looking, can't tell now, but lost my family, lost my wife, kind of lost a kid in a divorce, lost a cat. But then, I had to move there. Mom asked, like, you need to start your life over. You stay here, you're going to die. You're going to die, but you come down here, start your life over. So I can't move down to the villages in Florida. And had met this guy, call him an angel, because his name was Rob. I've never seen him again. Took me to Peru to do ayahuasca. And ayahuasca woke me, spoke to the source, found my gift, and opened my eyes. And from there, it's like, okay, and I got my life on track. But then I was working pretty good in construction, and I had a chance to actually, I always tell people, psychedelics, you don't find them, they find you. And it's no doubt about it. It finds you when it finds you, or any awakening experience finds you when it finds you, regardless. But it found me again, and I sat down and I watched The Matrix. And I had that question about The Matrix. Got it answered. Next couple of days, the Mandela Effect comes on my YouTube. Luke, I am a father. And good Lord, if I didn't spend about 2-3 hours. No, write it down. Mom, did you hear this? You remember this? That was the pivotal breakthrough. And I was like, it's got to be told. It's got to be told. You got to hear my story, just to bring it out. And it's a lovely thing just to bring a community together, just for a conversation. Even now these days, it's a great conversation starter because you've heard, the name Mandela Effect. You may not know it, but I love it. And that's what broke me through. And since then, I've been spoon fork eating it all day ever since. So that's a great question.
The Mandela Effect, not the psychedelics, right?
Both.
If you hadn't gone through it, you wouldn't know how to teach it. So we're so glad you are.
Thank you. That's my friend.
And thank you.
Thank you. Thank all of y'all.
Make sure to get you one of those sheets.
Thank y'all very much, by the way. The pleasure is all mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Allen Bagas.